Petuwaste, my friends and relatives. Welcome to the Red Road Radio Show. I'm your host, Lou Hastings from the Native Now Foundation. So glad that you can join us again for one of our live shows. We are pretty much rolling through this week. So far, so good with some live shows. I've got some traveling to do at the end of this week, but we are going to be bringing you new shows. We've got a couple in the can, and the fact that this one is live tonight, I'm not going to throw the phone number out there like we usually do, but what I am going to do is I'm going to tell you how you can reach us live on the air, and that one way is Twitter. If you use the hashtag FYILive, you'll be able to ask us questions right now on the air, and we'll bring them in for our special guests that we have on tonight. Also, as always, we invite you to go to FYINation.com, where we do have a pretty cool chat room in there where a lot of our listeners jump in, and we're able to see your comments live there as well. So if you have any questions for special guests, anything that you'd like to add to the show, that's what this is about. The Red Road Radio Show is your show. The purpose is to engage the audience. So that's what we want to do, and I'm sure our guests tonight would appreciate and agree with that as well. So without further ado, let us introduce our guests for this evening. Tonight, we have two very special guests. We have Lil Mike and FunnyBone, who are rappers known as MikeBone. And they are two of the best Native American rappers the world has ever seen. And their music is out there for you to be able to go and check out. You can go to their website, which is MikeBoneNation.com, and check out their videos on YouTube. Basically, they're all over the place. So, Lil Mike, FunnyBone, MikeBone, welcome to the Red Road Radio Show.
Yo, yay! What's happening, tall people? What's up?
Now, you guys have to explain that. Why did you say, "What's up, tall people"?
Okay, well, first of all, we're not your average height human, I guess.
I got a feeling you are not the average anything, guys.
Yeah.
You are all about being bigger than life.
We are straight after box, so God made us special. We were on America's Got Talent, and we kind of took the stage and just made it our own. And if you've seen us, you would know what I'm talking about when I say tall people. We were only maybe up to Nick Cannon's chest. So, yeah, we're not that tall. Just a couple little natives doing our thing, traveling the world and inspiring people.
Making a big noise.
People. Yeah, man.
Making a big noise.
Always.
So let me ask you guys this. Let's start out from here. How did you, and first of all, let's establish you guys are brothers.
Yes, brothers, but not twins.
Gotcha. So how did you guys get started in music?
Oh, right. Well, are you ready?
Absolutely.
All right. So basically, I had a rough childhood, and I was just going through the therapy or whatever, and they were telling me to write out my feelings or whatever, and um, people were saying, that well, the doctors were saying, you got to find other forms and means of getting your anger out. So I danced and I rapped, and or I wrote poetry basically, and just incorporated both together, and you know started uh, trying to sing on stage and whatnot, and uh, outbursted my talent of rapping and dancing, and then I started doing shows, and FunnyBone had to jump on and save me while I was changing out cassette tapes, if y'all remember what those are.
Some of us do.
Well, so yeah, this is he started doing his thing while I was maybe around the age of 7, and then when he started getting building a name for himself locally, he was about the age of 12, and that's when he had me come on. And when he was taking a break, I would go on stage and I would do something funny or tell a joke, and that's kind of around the time both Bone Thugs and Harmony was real big, and so that I took my characteristic and added the bone, and that's how I got my name. Funny Bone was born. So
So,
and we just kind
so
of
basically, this was born like a lot of different bands away. And Little Mike, you can tell me if I'm onto something here, where bands or even songwriters are putting their feelings down on paper, things that they wouldn't normally address in public, right? Usually, it comes from a deep emotional place when you put pen to paper, and those things. I, I mean, they're not easy to do. Number one, to put feelings down on paper, but then to express them
yeah.
with other people. Did you start by rapping with, in front of your family and some friends first, and people went, you know what, Mike, I think you're onto something?
I
Is
mean,
that kind of
well,
how it started?
not really. I just, I wrote poetry for myself, basically, and my mom would stumble across some of the poems, and she'd be worried because they'd be so violent and whatnot. Because they told me to write my anger out, so I wrote it out, and um, slowly as I joined the church or whatever, my poetry started taking a turn, and my lifestyle took a turn, and that's when I tried to express myself. Is when um, we went to a gospel gangster concert, and they just what they did motivated me to do some form of uh, basically basically to use my talent in some form or fashion to reach people in a positive manner. And I mean, I would say my first song that I did, I shared with my family. Yeah. Oh well, yeah, I shared it with my home church. We had a little concert at the lake, and it was just church members, and I sang a little song I wrote.
And that's essentially what kicked it off, and then you just started rolling with it and putting things down and then performing them.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, when I first started, it was just rap, but then I was like, I saw Michael Jackson, and I was like, I want to do that and rap. I want to dance and rap. And then I saw MC Hammer and Vanilla Ice, and
all them people, and I was just like, I want to do that. I want to do that. And so I I joined a dance class, and I joined cheerleading class. Anything dance I wanted to learn. So I just try to learn as much as I could, and use my talent to impress people in a way that was a positive way.
Tell them how you got the name Lil Mike.
Oh well, watching watching Michael Jackson, people would call me Little Michael Jackson, because I used to dance or impersonate Michael Jackson, and then I would do a song. So that's how I got my name.
Well, I'm glad that you asked that question of Mike Bone, because I was going to ask you, and maybe we should anyway, talk about some of your musical influences. And Mike, you gave us Michael Jackson. Do you have any others? And then Bone, I'd like you to answer the same question. Some of your musical influences that you listen to all the time and you sort of look up to, and just those acts that stick with you to this day.
Well,
Mike, you go first.
Okay, Mike.
So like anybody who actually performed on stage, I would say caught my attention. Like Michael Jackson, MC Hammer, James Brown, Vanilla Ice, even like, I don't know, what are their names? Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Oh, right on.
Okay. They actually demanded the stage, you know what I'm saying? Anybody who got on stage and just, showed out, I was like, I'm trying to be that good. So those are the ones that kind of inspired me.
Bone, what about you?
Well, I wasn't into music as much as Mike was, but what I did see was mostly it was Michael Jackson. Because, I mean, Lil Mike was always doing his thing to Michael's music, and those were the backing tracks, was Michael Jackson's tracks. Dang, that's a tough question.
Well, it is a tough question, but let's put it this way. Have you seen acts live? And Mike, you gave us a sort of a look into that. Like when you saw somebody live on stage, commanding the stage, you went, I want to do that. Have you guys gone to concerts and saw anybody where you went, man, that was a show?
Yeah, see, that's why Mike wanted to get into it, is because when he saw Michael Jackson and James Brown and all these other dudes doing their thing, they controlled the stage. They didn't just sing the song; they performed. They put their heart into it. So
and you guys actually started at a time when pretty much the video era was over. The MTV era was starting to wind down, and you had to bring something else to the stage, right? You had to have a bigger presence.
Yeah.
So that had to be impactful.
Well, it's that, but also
we were kind of out where we were making music around the same time area where Crisscross was making music. And matter of fact, a lot of people called us Crisscross for some weird reason, but I mean, we were just, trying to do our thing a little bit different, and It's more, try to use more genres than just, try to mix the genres up into hip-hop.
We just tried to use all our abilities at the top notch. Our image, our sound, and our dancing abilities. Just everything we had, we pulled it out and used it. So and then with MTV gone, not playing music videos as much, that's cool because the internet was coming up, and everything's more accessible on the internet now. So I think that it was a pro and a con.
That's a good point. I didn't think about that. That the internet sort of filled that void, and you could even see obscure acts that you wouldn't normally see on MTV. Right. You had access to a whole lot more music.
Oh yeah.
So that's an excellent point. I didn't even think about that.
That's where most people discovered us, is on YouTube, online.
Yeah, and America's Got Talent discovered us online.
Yeah, that's where one of their producers saw the video of us performing on a local morning show here in Oklahoma City. And they called us and said, hey, we saw your video, we like what you guys do, and we want to have y'all come audition. And so that's how that was taken.
And I actually saw that video, and if you have the opportunity, if you're out there listening, go to the website, because it is awesome the way you guys took the stage, and you really took it right as soon as you came out from behind the curtain.
Well,
it was just
a lot of,
we're taking the stage. That's it. Get ready.
Yeah, no, man, we've had a lot of practice, and we had really good teachers. Michael Jackson, MC Hammer, everybody that we watched did that. Everybody that we watched growing up took control of the stage from the beginning to the end, and that's what we did on America's Got Talent. So, and we blew the judges away. Even Howard Stern really liked it. And then that all changed in Vegas, but that's a different story.
Right. Right out of the box, though, the first audition, you got a yes from all of the judges. And even the way, if you look at that clip, and I really encourage you guys to go to MikeBone's website, MikeBoneNation.com, and check out this video, because even the rapport that you both had with the judges after you were done showed how comfortable you were on a stage. That you weren't intimidated at all, not in the least bit.
Yeah, and I think that kind of shocked Howard Stern, because he was sitting there trying to get under our skin before we got to singing the song. He was trying to poke fun at our height and if we get girls or not, and how much money we make, and then tried to make fun of the fact that we're Native American. And then when he saw that wasn't getting to us, I think that actually got to him. So
yep.
We just roll with the punches, man, and Dewey's hitting them back with better jokes and letting them know we were comfortable with who we are and what we are and everything that we have. And you could tell, it threw him off.
Hey guys.
Absolutely. I totally agree with you. Go ahead, Thomas.
Lou, if you don't mind, I got a question. As someone who suffers from acute stage fright, how do you guys find the muster to do that? Because I don't think I would ever. Howard Stern is my radio idol. In fact, when I do my show during the day, I took a cue from his movie where he decided, in his book, that he decided he's just going to tell the truth, and whatever flies out of his mouth, that's what it is. I can do that on radio, but in person, and if it was on the stage like what you guys went through on America's Got Talent, I have a feeling that I would freeze like the frozen desert in a very cold winter. And I'm curious as to where you guys find that, and is it because you guys have a great personality just on the air, and is it that, or is it just something that comes natural, or do you have to picture in your mind everybody naked? What do you do?
Oh my!
I think because this is actually our 20-year anniversary since we've been doing music together.
Yeah. And it was like 17 years in the game when we were on that show. We were just used to it. Matter of fact, we thought from backstage the crowd sounded a whole lot bigger.
Yeah.
And then when we got out there, we were like, this is a small room.
That's like a little high school auditorium.
And we were like, all right, well, shoot.
It's cool.
We'll rock it.
Yeah.
And so we stepped out on stage and was not nervous at all. I know a lot of people who get out there and the crowd isn't what freaks them out. It's the celebrities.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And
starstruck.
We've already met so many famous people that we already know that famous people are just regular people.
Yeah.
And, I mean,
you got to look past it. And I think our way of getting past stage fright is also just not overthinking anything. Just
go out there and have fun.
Yeah, just go have fun and just let it roll.
Like, if you ever see basketball players get on the court and they're, like, frustrated and they're missing shots and they're like, oh, my God. Like, we go out there and we have fun. Even if we mess up on a dance move or whatever, we'll play it off and do something different.
Yeah.
And, I mean, it's not going to hurt our feelings probably until, like, we watch the video and we're like, oh, we should have done that right. But, I mean, other than that, we're just like, yeah, we don't care.
If you're having fun, I think the crowd can tell, too. If you're into it or if you're just doing it just as a job, you know?
No, definitely, because that's what No, you guys are exactly right, because that's what the feeling I get from my audience in the afternoon, when they know when I'm getting anxious or agitated with a story, and they know when I'm enjoying doing the story, and they can tell, and they let me know, and they participate in the chat and everything else, and so does with Lou's audience, whether it be with the recording at 5 o'clock or on iTunes, where we get a lot of messages from listeners in the archives. Lou, it's your show. I'll shut up now.
Yeah, no, absolutely. It's a great question, Thomas, and I think that guys, your answer is perfect, and here's why. So many times when you hear not only celebrities but other musical acts, and I've played music in my younger days. You have to be enjoying what you do, or else there is no motivation to go on stage, right? There is no motivation to win over that audience. And I had occasion, it was 2 years ago now, almost, but I can't believe that already, that I interviewed the Doobie Brothers on this very show. And I asked them that question: do you still enjoy doing what you do? They've been in the business nearly 40 years.
Wow.
And they said if we didn't enjoy it and if we didn't have fun, we wouldn't be doing it anymore.
Yeah.
So that was a great answer, guys. Thank you so much for that. It's nice to hear.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, it's just nice to hear that you are enjoying what you're doing. And on that, well, there's a couple of things I want to let the audience know. You mentioned that being Native American is part of the act, and you guys are from the Pawnee Nation, correct?
Right.
And
Way over here.
Oklahoma City is where you call home.
Oklahoma City, born and raised. Yeah.
So why don't you give our audience sort of an idea of some of the places that you have traveled to and performed that that kind of left a mark on you? Like you went home and went, man, that's gonna hang around in my heart for a while.
Yeah. Well, okay. Well, our first trip to Canada.
Yes, Canada, Winnipeg.
It was Winnipeg, and it was so amazing.
Well, first of all, we thought it was gonna be cold, because I mean, you think north, you think cold.
You think Canada, you think snow.
Yeah. So
That's
we
right.
brought our big jackets, and we got off the plane, and the first thing we both noticed was how clean the air was. That was the first thing, and then we both realized it's not that cold. It's actually really nice. So that was the first couple things, and then
I would say
the amount of love they showed us there was on a different level than we get in the States. I mean, it's cool here, but like in Canada, it was just that next level.
That was just a big city. Like we got called back so many times to do different events. Another one was a res out there called Amjanan, and their res is like right near oil refinery factory, and the air there,
oh man,
was so bad that by the second day we both had sore throats.
Yeah,
and I mean,
it took a while to recover from.
Like they showed us, news clippings of when they protest at the oil refinery or whatever and stuff like that, and I'm like, man, this place is crazy, and it was a beautiful res. The hotel was nice. The YMCA was good, and I mean, it was all around a beautiful place. It's just that you could smell that in the air. It smelled like copper the whole time we was there, and it just how the scenery and the people were in Canada were just like we felt home basically every time we went. And here in the States, I would say probably like Florida or what would you say?
Yeah, Florida and
I would say Florida. Maybe was it Idaho?
Yes, Idaho. They treated us really nice, and they put us up in the hotel, the best suite, and that's actually on our YouTube channel. They gave us like, I don't even know what the suite was called, but it was like the presidential suite. It had 3 bedrooms, 2 restrooms,
a
hallway that changed color.
Oh no!
Balcony. I mean, it was sweet. It was real nice. So that's a couple.
Shout out to Idaho.
Yeah. Matter of fact, we were just talking to the manager about to our booking manager about that place, and they got the event coming back up pretty soon, so hopefully they'll give us a call.
Nice. Hopefully they'll hear this and do just that. We're at the bottom of the hour. This is a perfect place for us to take our break, and when we come back with Lil Mike and FunnyBone of MikeBoneMusic, MikeBone Nation, right here on the Red Road Radio Show. We'll be right back. Some say is now at noon. That's right, noon Eastern. and 9 a.m. Pacific, Monday through Friday. A former Republican, don't hold that against Tom Reynolds. Your host of Some Say brings you 3 hours of interactivity with tweets, calls, and sometimes me, Lou Hastings of the Red Road Radio Show, and other contributors. Unapologetic and willing to take on the hypocrisy of the left and the right, Tom will bring you secular reason and logic and the occasional curse that will remind you why he has a mature audience warning at the start of Some Say at noon Eastern.
FYI Nation costs $40 a day to keep on the air. Their original content doesn't sell you products when you listen, and the Tom Hartman program is commercial-free as well. FYI Nation relies on your contributions to keep their programming paywall-free. If you can't contribute, word of mouth is just as important. Tweet them at #FYILive or visit their chat at FYINation.com, and thank you for supporting FYI Nation. Are you a night owl? If so, you can stay up with me, Tom Hartman, at midnight with the Tom Hartman program. Tom Hartman program is paywall free thanks to your generous donation to FYINation.com.
Not just now.
It's the Red Road.
And welcome back to the Red Road Radio Show. I'm your host, Lou Hastings, from the Native Now Foundation, and we are visiting with Little Mike and FunnyBone of MikeBoneMusic. Welcome back to the Red Road Radio Show, guys.
What's up, Red Road? Yay!
I wanted to ask you, since we were on the subject of traveling around, do you guys enjoy to travel to different places?
Man,
or are you more homebodies?
personally, I think it's awesome just to experience new places and new faces and to spread good music. Because, I mean, right now that's what the world is missing, man. This whole music industry is twisted, and people are being force-fed garbage. And so, I don't know. Personally, I enjoy it. Mike?
I like to travel by car, not so much a plane, but I mean, you got to get to your places pretty fast, so I guess that's cool.
I enjoy the plane rides. I just don't know
You like the plane.
I just don't know about the TSA, getting through TSA, walking through the airport. That's the only thing. So if once we get the private jet, we'll be all set.
Get that manager working on that, guys.
Yeah, right.
Well, you know what? I totally understand that. Travel can be rough, especially when you're away from friends and loved ones for long stretches of time. But, you know, it is neat to go and visit different places, get to experience different things, and meet new people, because you never know, and you guys probably know this better than most of us, you never know who you're going to meet or run into and what that is going to do for your career.
Definitely, man. And that's another thing, man. With our image, if you guys haven't seen us, man, please go look us up on YouTube. Check out MikeBoneMusic. I mean, we're just a couple of unique guys. We just stand out, which is crazy because we're only 4.5 feet tall. Well, a little over 4.5 feet tall, but we just stand out everywhere we go. And that's the cool thing about traveling is when we walk into a place, people take notice right off the bat, and people will say, I don't know what you guys do, but I know you do something. And this image has gotten us so many other opportunities from just being recognizable and just standing out. People just can tell we do something.
Right, and it's the way you carry yourselves as well. You if you carry yourself as a performer, people are going to automatically think that, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you're carrying that air with you.
Yeah, we don't wear a lot of chains and
we don't
big old sunglasses and nothing, but yeah, we carry ourselves pretty well.
We can't really try to wear disguises like celebrities. We can't wear shades and get away with it, or hats and get away with it. We still look like we tried once. We put on these hats. They were like what is it? Baseball hats with the top missing, and had white boy hair in it.
Oh yeah, it was like a visor with a visor with white boy hair glued to it.
And we wore that, and people were still like, "Mike Bone, what's up, man? What are y'all wearing?"
No, they were just like, man, the only time we can really hide is on Halloween.
Oh yeah,
and just being around 4'8".
Just buy some kids' Halloween costumes,
buy a mask and a whole outfit, and people will think we kids. We go around trick or treating, knocking on people's door. Where are your parents? People are asking, where's your parents?
I drove myself.
That's great.
There's benefits to being short.
No doubt, no doubt. Along the same lines, and you've already shown your personality on this show for sure, but you don't just rap, perform, dance. You guys are also motivational speakers.
Yes.
Right? I mean,
yes.
you do that. You go and talk to people and talk to kids and talk, at schools and in front of groups. How did that part of your lives evolve? And what are some of the things that you might tell these groups, whether it be kids or whether it be organizations, in that motivational speaking part of your life? What might some of those messages be?
Well, how it started, we were already quote unquote Christian rappers, but we never really, nobody ever wanted to hear us preach, so we would just go and do the shows. And then somebody offered us a job at YFC, Youth for Christ, and we would go to preach at the schools, and they trained us in how to speak to the kids or whatever. And then
so we were going with this company called Youth for Christ, and they had us going to different high schools and talk to the kids, and that's kind of, I guess you could say that's kind of how it started. And then even this company thought we were a little too edgy, and they eventually had to let us go because we're always doing events anywhere and everywhere. So we're doing events at nightclubs and casinos, and so the company thought that we might be a bad name for them. So they said, we have to let you guys go. And so we just kind of took that and ran with it, took our experience and ran with it. And now we go all over the states and everywhere we can to different reses and schools. And we try to inspire kids from our experiences of being bullied to dealing with thoughts of suicide or growing up without a father or poor or just any number of topics. I mean, we'll just try to inspire and encourage the youth, and that's what our music does too. So it's like Mike was saying, it's not really Christian rap. We just happen to be rappers that are Christian, so we don't want to put it in no box. So plus we don't like to rub Jesus' name and preach through the music. You know what I'm saying?
We kind of let our life speak for itself.
Yeah.
So right. So go ahead.
We just let our life do all the speaking, and the music's just fun, man. The music's just a plus. So.
Right, and you're just speaking your truths, and it just so happens that it aligns with your belief system, and that lends itself right there to motivational speaking, doesn't it?
Yeah.
If you're teaching kids and others, it doesn't necessarily have to be kids, people from at-risk communities, let's say that, and encouraging them and inspiring them that even though there are these massive challenges, especially in some not only inner city places, but on reservations in indigenous communities, there's some tough battles going on there just to survive.
Yeah.
So do you see that in Oklahoma?
That's another thing we see here. And also, amongst our people, man, one thing I forgot to say is we like to speak on dealing with peer pressure and drugs and peer pressure and drinking. Because also being rappers, I mean, everybody assumes, oh, you got to smoke weed or you have to drink every time you go to the club. And me and Mike, we don't smoke, we don't drink, and that's something we promote hard in our music. And so when people see us in real life, they really get surprised when they see us and we're not smoking or drinking at these concerts and at these parties backstage. We're having a great time. Yeah, matter of fact, we're the life of the party everywhere we go. People are just kind of shocked because we don't smoke and we don't drink. And I'm like, man, we try to tell these kids on the reservations and just our native people in general, you don't need that stuff to have a good time, man. That stuff's just going to hold you back. It's not going to take you anywhere. And there's no good endings to doing drugs. No good endings to drinking. So that's another thing we speak on when we go to different places. Is try to get people away from those substances. And
I think that's fantastic, guys, because that will hold young people back. It holds adults back. You know, especially those who started early in life, and carry that with them throughout their whole life. I mean, that is the message. If you're going to have a message, that's the message right there.
Lou, can I just? I'm sorry to bother
Sure.
you. And again, every time I interrupt, I realize it's your show. But you
No,
guys
go ahead.
You guys are hitting another topic that's near and dear to my heart, and I'm curious to how you approach it, because I'm very liberal and progressive, and I'm in the mindset, because I've seen European countries do this, where they decriminalize and treat it as a health issue and not punish people who drink or do drugs and throw away the key and then tear families apart. And I'm curious as how to you guys, when you guys talk about this, how do you guys frame it in your music and when you talk about it in general with people? Because I think the framing is very important. You can go the very right wing way, or you can go my way, or you can go somewhere in the middle. And I'm wondering where you lie on this.
Like, well, when we're doing speaking events and we bring it up, I'll say something like, you can live like there's no tomorrow, but tomorrow's still going to be there when you wake up with consequences. So you got to think about the choices that you're making. And I tell people, you can learn from other people's mistakes so you don't have to make them. You know, you can learn that by watching Cops and seeing the effects it has on people drinking or doing drugs. I mean, it's not good. It's not a good look, and them lives don't satisfy. And so you end up chasing the dragon, and you get caught in a circle. And next thing you know, 10 years is gone.
Yeah, we kind of just basically paint it the way they already see it.
Yeah.
And for some people, they see it and ignore it. And we put it in front of their face like it's not to be ignored. This is a problem, and, you know, you shouldn't just jump in the melee. Like, you know, you see people who get drunk and beat their wives. That's not okay. That's not normal. You see people who use drugs and don't wake up.
Yeah.
You know, that is a consequence. Just people, you know, losing their jobs from, you know, smoking a substance or
breaking bridges between their families.
Yeah.
Just because they were addicted to something, and it made them make all the wrong choices, make them steal from their family, and now their family turns their back on them. I mean, it's not a good thing, and you start losing yourself when you put your happiness in those things.
Yeah.
And then you wake up with a hangover and the same problems.
Yeah. Now, for somebody who's actually in the situation, some who are involved in it get angry, but some who are actually doing it and listening to our stuff, and they're like, man, I'm trying to change. I want to know more. We're not those celebrities who hide out on their social media, like you message us and say hi, and we're not going to say nothing back. If you come at us with a question about something serious, we're going to answer you back.
Yeah.
And we're going to talk to you and try to get you the help that you need.
No, that's amazing, and you hit the nail on the head, you guys. Which is amazing, because that I see too many people, and this is my personal point of view, and Lou, correct me if I'm wrong. I like it when you do that. But that being said, I see too many people who use drugs and alcohol abuse as a way to beat on people and make it almost worse, as opposed to make the situation better. And that infuriates me. It really does. And when the only way you're going to reach somebody in that state is to be able to lift them up, as opposed to pushing them down, right? I mean, that only makes sense.
Yeah, we basically tell them, look, we've lived through this, and it is possible for somebody to change.
Yeah.
You just gotta, what did you say at the conference last? You said something about change something.
Nothing changes if you don't make change. Is that what you're talking about?
I think so. And it was tight.
You have to start somewhere, and we just let them know, man, nothing changes if you don't make change. And the journey of 1,000 miles begins with one step. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, you just take it one day at a time, and then
and it is possible to change. I mean, I had anger issues.
This boy was psychotic, y'all. He was in kindergarten, not elementary.
I was in elementary school until the age of 14, and then they put me in middle school in special ed classes. They just skipped me up grades I didn't even know. But, I mean, I was evil. I was so evil they tried to get a priest to exorcise me, or what's that word again?
Do an exorcism.
Yeah, that word.
Exorcism.
But, I mean, I was bad, and, I mean, I was able to change and get better and control my thoughts, not black out and try to kill people.
Well, I for one am glad to hear that you guys are carrying this positive message. And Thomas, thank you for that question, and guys, thank you for that answer, because that is what brings actual value to your life, right?
Yeah,
is
definitely.
If you can deliver that or deliver a person from that demon, you are really doing life's work there. You're doing the creator's work, as far as I'm concerned. So I think it's a great message.
Yeah, that's one of the best benefits from doing what we do is hearing people's stories and how much our music has affected their lives in a positive way. You know, I mean, we could easily be out there just rapping about booty and doing drugs and drinking, and our music could have no purpose whatsoever. But I don't think that wouldn't be fulfilling, man. That
I would feel meaningless if I was doing that.
It wouldn't have no value, man. And then you're tearing people's lives apart. And I mean, it just has more purpose, man.
No, I think
I'd rather. Yeah.
As Lou says, guys, I think that's great because that's you need to when you do something like whether it's on the radio, like what me and Lou do, or what you guys are doing, you have to feel like even if you have nobody listening, right? And you have and you go up and do it anyway. You have to feel the motivation to do it and then garner a crowd, you know? And the crowd you garner will notice whether or not you're into it yourself. And they'll tell you.
Yeah.
You know? And and you guys got told by Howard Stern of all people, which to me is just as someone who loves radio and talk radio and is very big into that since childhood. To me, that is just amazing, you know. So I could never imagine being told or talked down to by him and surviving it. And you guys turned it around and impressed him. So that to me puts you number one in my book.
Yeah. Well, that's something we tell the kids, man. We talk about bullying is if you don't give power to the words that people throw at you, then they don't have power over you. You know, that was his whole point, was to dominate us. And
we're not easily dominated.
Yeah, we took that away from him when we just laughed at it and we rolled with it and hit him back with better jokes, better short jokes, and so that's something we talk to the kids about, and then let them know that when words are thrown at you and people kick you around, it doesn't change your value. It doesn't change who you were created to be. I mean, people's opinions don't change you.
Unless you let it change. You only are affected by what you let affect you.
Yeah, and I tell them, we got a new song called Sticks and Stones. I tell them on the song, what did I say? Haters are fans too. They're just a little confused. And the hate don't change your value, so just keep on moving when they doubt you.
I think that's great, guys. And speaking of music, we're actually winding down. We're down into the last few minutes. I can't believe it. That hour went so fast. Yeah. We could continue to talk to you guys for sure. And you're going to have to come back. That's it. We haven't finished our conversation, but we would love to have you back. But before we let you go, I want you to be able to tell our audience. You talked about one of your songs. Talk about how people can get a hold of your music. What is the best way that they can find it? And what should they be visiting? Talk about your music and where people can find it and what your latest project is.
All right. Well, if you're looking for music from Lil Mike and FunnyBone, you can search online everywhere. There's a SoundCloud.com/MikeBoneMusic. We're on iTunes, Amazon, Spotify, YouTube. A lot of people get their music off of YouTube now. Our YouTube channel's MikeBoneMusic. Like you said, the website is MikeBoneNation.com. We have a bunch of stuff online. You can actually order signed CDs. If you guys still looking for CDs, we autograph the CDs. You can get those on our website and mailed to your house.
Nice.
We have merchandise. We got T-shirts and wristbands and coffee mugs, all kind of stuff. We don't even drink coffee. So just do a little search. We're on Facebook. We're always posting the links on Facebook and Twitter. Just go to our photos. We have little promo photos with our website links. What else?
Our next project that we are working on is almost finished. I'm so excited.
Latest projects that we have out. The album Crunk Natives is 22 songs. It's online. We like to promote our cdbaby.com. It's cdbaby.com/artist/Lil Mike FunnyBone. And our latest album is Rain Dance. Rain Dance, and that's got 20 songs. We redid a remix to the Rain Dance, and then we put a bunch of new songs out. One of the bigger hits on that album is called Pow Wow, and that's getting played worldwide on different stations. Matter of fact, Shaquille O'Neal has a radio station, and he's playing that on there. So,
oh wow!
Big love to Shaq, the big man.
Big man.
And then we're actually
You look like next to that guy.
yeah. This is just you guys are actually one of the first people to hear this, but we are actually most likely going to perform that song on TV again with a guy named Steve Harvey.
Oh, awesome! That is
nice.
amazing.
So the song is called Pow Wow off the Rain Dance album, and be on the lookout on TV for your boys Lil Mike and FunnyBone again. We are coming to a TV near you,
and it won't be on Little Big Shots.
Yeah.
Oh, and by the way, guys, as somebody who is 5'3" and 135 pounds, I'm with you on being short. So,
Short people rule.
Amen.
And tall people take a long time to sit down.
Exactly.
Well, guys, I want to thank you so much for coming on the show, taking time out of your busy schedule to come and visit with us and our listeners. I really appreciate that.
Yeah, man. We appreciate you having us on, and we definitely will have more to bring next time around. So, like I said, man, God's been opening a lot more doors for your boys. So we are. You just keep your eyes on us, man. We're going different places.
All right, Lil Mike and FunnyBone, Mike Bone, everybody, give them a round of applause and definitely look for their music. Check them out. Go to the website, buy some merch. Get these guys out there, back on the road, performing like they love to do, and we all love to hear.
And if you need a party thrown, call Mike Bone.
That's great, guys. Thank you very much. And that'll do it for this edition of the Red Road Radio Show. We will see you next time.
Stay blessed.